There's this belief that if you are just disciplined enough, if you just keep pushing harder and doing more, then you will accomplish your goals and improve your performance. But what if that's not true? What if you are pushing harder and your performance starts to degrade? Or you hit a wall and you feel utterly exhausted and overwhelmed and start wondering what's wrong with you. This could mean you're stuck in survival mode. Your nervous system never gets the chance to regulate and feel safe. And that's the very thing keeping you from progressing. In this episode, I'll be talking about the 80-20 rule of performance and how you can utilize this to improve your performance without burning out. Welcome to Calmly Coping. I'm Tati Garcia, a licensed therapist with over 15 years experience in the mental health field. Every episode, I help you get to the root of the anxiety, overwhelm, and pressure of holding it all together, and what actually works to shift it. If that resonates, follow or subscribe wherever you're tuning in, and let's get into it. There's a point of diminishing returns when it comes to pushing yourself to improve your performance or productivity, regardless of what you're working towards. Improving your skills at work, trying to get that promotion, or just doing better than you did last week. This is because we're humans, not machines. We have a finite capacity and we need to recharge and rest. In addition, our nervous systems function to communicate messages about the outside world to our bodies. If your nervous system is continually in fight or flight mode, then your body never feels fully safe enough to rest and fully regulate. This is a problem because when your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight or freeze, this triggers a cascade of physiological responses. Hormones such as cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine flood the body, causing an increase in heart rate, dilation of pupils, sweating, shallow breathing, blood flowing to your large muscle groups, and away from functions like digestion. Additionally, the threat detection part of your brain takes over, resulting in decisions and actions that are focused primarily on survival. As a result, the prefrontal cortex of the brain gets down-regulated, or it doesn't work in the way it normally would. And this is the part of the brain that's responsible for complex processes, otherwise known as executive functioning. And these processes are decision-making, thinking clearly, planning, and more. When you are pushing yourself harder and harder with no breaks, or maybe you're taking breaks, but you're always thinking about work or responsibilities or stress or progressing, or feeling like you're perpetually behind, you are functioning from an activated nervous system in this fight, flight, or freeze response. And as a result, you're functioning from a place of decreased performance in the long run because your body cannot sustain this level of functioning. And like I mentioned before, your brain is probably not functioning in the way you need it to accomplish the complicated tasks your work or other responsibilities require. The foundation for this episode was inspired by a recent experience I had while running. Currently, I'm training for a half marathon. Each run I went out on started to feel impossible. My heart rate was skyrocketing. I felt like I couldn't push any further, and I kept feeling like I wasn't progressing, to the point where I would get back home feeling exhausted and continually discouraged. And I kept thinking to myself, what am I doing wrong? I used to be so much more in shape. I remember when these types of runs used to feel easy. And I used to have thoughts like, why are my friends running faster paces than me when they haven't run consistently in a while either? And what's wrong with me? And I was on a running plan that in hindsight was probably too much too fast for where I was physically. And this increased load, along with the continual belief I kept repeating to myself over and over again that I just wasn't where I was when I was in my best running shape about 7 years ago, in addition to this continual comparisonitis, was really beating me down. And all of these circumstances resulted in one thing: my feeling of being perpetually behind, and the feeling that I just needed to push myself harder on my next run to improve my performance and finally get faster. And this, of course, applies to more than just running. And it wasn't until I started reading the book Run Like a Pro by Matt Fitzgerald and Ben Rosario that I realized what was happening and what I was doing to myself. They described the 80-20 rule in athletics, which dictates that you spend approximately 80% of your training volume at low conversational intensity and the remaining 20% at moderate to high intensity. And this approach helps endurance athletes maximize aerobic conditioning, prevent injury, and avoid training plateaus. Basically, it helps you to sustain and progress more quickly and more efficiently. And I had only been previously familiar with the 80-20 rule of productivity in business, the idea that 20% of your effort results in 80% of your results and vice versa. And maybe this is a variation of it, but viewing it in this way really changed things. And it completely changed the way that I was viewing my training. And like I mentioned, how this could apply outside of just physical performance. I was pushing myself hard probably 90% of the time. No wonder I was taxing my nervous system. I was in a heightened state of fight or flight because of my thoughts. I'm perpetually behind. My body can't handle this anymore. What's wrong with me? And that has changed my approach. Now I've decided to ease back into running to make it enjoyable again. I'm still far out from my race, so that looks like at least 2 weeks of easy runs, no tracking, no looking at pace, just enjoying myself for short durations more consistently so I can train my body and my nervous system back into a state of relaxation about running and hopefully set me up for improved performance and feeling better. And I even noticed that I was inadvertently training my nervous system to become activated at the end of my route. This was apparent when I did an easy run, and then my heart started beating, breathing became more labored and shallow at the same spot I usually end up in, even though it wasn't a difficult run. I'd unconsciously trained my body to do this and was harming my performance in the process. So, how can we apply this outside of athletics to your job, responsibilities, important events, or anything else where you are seeking to improve your performance while supporting your nervous system rather than continually living in survival mode? Tip number 1 is to notice the signs of survival mode or an activated nervous system. Because here's the thing, survival mode doesn't always look like a full-blown panic attack. For high achievers, it's usually more subtle than that. It can look like tension in your body that you just can't shake. Tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, shallow breathing, a racing heart when nothing urgent is even happening. Maybe it's trouble falling asleep because your mind just won't shut off at night, or you're waking up feeling already braced for the day. It could also look like racing thoughts, trouble focusing, a brain that's always 3 steps ahead, already on to the next task before you finished this one. And you may feel on edge, irritable, overwhelmed by things that maybe shouldn't feel like a big deal, a background sense that something is off or a sense of anxiety. Maybe you struggle to actually be present, even in the moments that you were actually looking forward to. And in your behaviors, it can look like not being able to relax without guilt, or checking your phone or your email compulsively, rushing even when there's no real deadline, saying yes when you mean no because stopping feels dangerous, like everything will fall apart if you do. If you're nodding along to a lot of these, then that's your signal. Your nervous system has been running in overdrive for so long that this sense of overdrive has started to feel like it's normal, like it's just your baseline. Once you've recognized that, the number 2 is to watch yourself talk and your perception. Like I mentioned before, the way I was speaking to myself really influenced how I was approaching things. So do you feel perpetually behind? Are you so afraid of failing that it doesn't feel like an option? And are you putting tons of pressure on yourself as a result? Are you beating yourself up constantly for not measuring up to who you think or where you think you should be? These can all be psychological triggers that keep you stuck in survival mode. Your brain perceives that you're unsafe, and our bodies respond to real threats the same way as perceived threats. So even thinking something or stressing about something or worrying about something activates that survival response. And as a result, it keeps pumping out those stress hormones to help you survive until you are safe. But that moment never comes if you're taking this stress and these beliefs with you wherever you go. And a simple way to change your thoughts is to create a mantra that you can use to replace these negative thoughts. Some examples are, I can handle this, I'm exactly where I need to be. And you can also try my positive affirmations episode for overachievers by clicking the link in the corner or in the description wherever you're tuning in. My next tip is to practice a calm, regulated nervous system. And this is the most important piece because you can't just tell yourself to feel calm. Your body needs to experience and really know what this feeling is. Some simple ways of doing this are breath work. There's 4-6 or 6-8 breathing, and this is focusing on breathing deeply into your belly for 4 or 6 seconds, and then making the exhale longer than the inhale. So if it's 4 seconds, you're exhaling for 6. If you're inhaling for 6, maybe you're exhaling for 8. And you don't necessarily need to count. It just can be a helpful tool to get you into the pattern and to get you to recognize what it feels like. Another way to do this is through progressive muscle relaxation. So consciously going through each part of your body and releasing tension from your muscles, because we can hold on to tension unconsciously without even recognizing that it's there, as well as grounding exercises. So connecting with each of your 5 senses and into your physical body, anything that gets you out of your head and into your body. And making this a daily practice can be extremely impactful, but especially before stressful or potentially triggering events. For example, in your car before you walk into the office, in the bathroom before an important meeting, as a ritual at your desk before you start focused or deep work, or at the end of the day before winding down and disconnecting. Focus on regulating your nervous system first so you can carry this with you throughout your day. And I'll be coming out with a nervous system reset practice that integrates these different ways of calming your nervous system in a simple 5 to 7 minute practice that you can repeat regularly. So be sure to stay tuned. And if you're checking this out after the fact, you can bookmark that episode for later. So here's what I want you to take with you. Improving your performance is not about pushing harder every single day. If anything, that's what's actually working against you. Just like the 80-20 rule in running, most of your effort needs to come from a calm, regulated place, so that when it's time to push, you actually can. The moments of ease are what makes the results and the times where you need to push harder possible. And if you recognized yourself in a lot of this as you were tuning in, the constant sense of being behind, the guilt around rest, or the feeling that you can't stop or it's all going to fall apart, then that has a name. It's high-functioning anxiety. It's when you look like you have it all together on the outside, whereas inside you're running on overdrive and on fumes. And if that sounds like you, there's nothing wrong with you and you're not alone. That's exactly why I created my free training on high-functioning anxiety, Achieve a Calm Mind, Balanced Life, and Empower Confidence, where I walk you through what's happening in your nervous system and the first steps to actually shift it. If you want to go deeper after this episode, that's the best place to start. You can find the link in the show notes or by going to calmlycoping.com/workshop. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one sign that your body gives you when you've been in survival mode for too long? Let me know in the comments wherever you're tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have more episodes on calming your mind, improving work-life balance, and building real confidence from within. So go ahead and pick another episode to keep going. And be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're tuning in so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, be calm.